Welcome, everybody, to the Soul of the Unexplained. I am your host, Jim Kelgard. That's right, Jim with two M's. Why? Well, who knows? It's just kind of a weird thing, and I'm kind of a weird guy. But anyhow, folks, welcome as we are kicking off our much anticipated PhenomeCon 2026 preview. And before we get started, I just want to introduce my all-star cast of associates here. We'll start off with the man, the myth, the legend, my favorite Denver Broncos fan, Mr. John Nyberger. John, how are you, buddy?
Doing great. Greetings, fellow travelers. How is everyone?
Doing well, doing well. Did you finally get out to see Project Hail Mary with in the theater?
Yes, saw it yesterday. It is quite good. I was a little worried because I've read the book twice, loved the book. My son read the book. He loved it. His fiance read the book. She loved it. And they went to see it once already. And I'm like, all right, how was it? And he's like, it's amazing. So we went. So yeah, he saw it with me yesterday. So yeah, it's quite good.
I think it's definitely an Oscar contender, but that's just my personal bias. I loved it. My wife and I, we saw it just a couple of days ago, just before you did, and I had pretty high hopes, but I wasn't sure if I was ready to buy into the hype of everybody talking how great it is because of Ryan Gosling. And oh my gosh, it's a home run. It reminds me in a lot of ways of the same effect that Interstellar had on me, without the emotional gut punches.
Yeah,
But
without as many of them.
not as many.
It had a
Yeah,
couple.
exactly. It's a 2.5 hour movie, folks, and I give it two huge thumbs up. Just
Yep.
my personal
Two
opinion.
thumbs up.
That's right, two thumbs up.
If you've seen the movie, you'll
You
get
got it, Rocky. Right on. And of course, a very, very big welcome and hello to another man, myth, and legend, Mr. John Stratton. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I'm sorry. I have not heard of that movie yet. I have not seen
Really?
it, so
Dude, are you kidding?
you will have to remind me to watch that because I've not seen that. I've been watching Outlander that just released a new season, and I am devastated by some of the stuff happening in there. If you've seen the show and you've been caught up, I won't spoil it, but
I saw the first 6 seasons. I
it
haven't
is
seen the 7th season, so I'm not prepared for 8.
well, season 8 is a tearjerker, I tell you. It's
Really?
interesting.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
People that are into that show, I know several of our fans are into it. It is a tearjerker, and I won't spoil it.
Hell, I believe
Well,
another band member was into it, at least at one point.
I believe
I,
so,
I
yes.
my mother is very much into the show and the books. She has all read all of the books. In fact, our beloved dog Rocky had eaten one of the really, really nice leather bound. They set out a special edition of the books that was printed as if it was an 18th century print.
Oh
Leather
no.
bound, beautiful. He ate one.
No.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she's big into it, but I very
Yeah.
much love it.
Yeah.
It
If
it's
I'm
a
not
paranormal
wrong,
show, but it's very
I think
history.
the Reverend Dr. Travis Taylor is
It would
is
surprise me if he was into that.
I believe he is, and I'm putting that out there.
Wow.
Now his wife, on the other hand, I wouldn't be surprised if she is. But
Yeah,
Travis being into
I
it because of the time travel factor.
yeah, I think there was the time. I think might be the stuff he liked. I don't know. I
I think
might
I
be
do remember.
misremembering, but I would
I
swear I remember
no,
that.
I think Travis. I think remember Travis mentioning it one
This
time.
is like a
In,
couple years
one of
ago.
our
I
This
I'm
is
yeah.
a
gonna have
while
to look
back.
into it
Yeah, we'll find out.
because going back to our last episode, somebody who I discussed that TV show with was Nick Pope, who had not really
Oh,
watched that show, but he was very fascinated by the ideas of the stuff with the show. So maybe he went through and watched some of it.
that's a pretty
Wow.
good show. I've read
It's a
some of the
great
books.
show.
I think I read the first 4 books, maybe
I
something
have
like
them all
that.
on audiobook, but I haven't gotten through them yet.
Yeah, yeah, good show.
As
Oh,
our
but
audience is well aware, I am
yes, back.
terrible at getting through books, movies, TV shows.
Uh-huh.
I am probably more famous for not watching things or listening, reading, all of that than anyone else.
Back to Project Hail Mary, though. It is the 3rd book from Andy Weir, the guy that wrote The Martian and
Yep.
what was the
I
second one?
I
Artemis.
very much liked
Artemis.
The
Yes.
Martian.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
The
Martian
Martian was
is
great.
my dad and I both very much love that movie.
You can tell that this movie has the same DNA as The Martian.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny,
Yeah,
you are
I'm
going to
sold.
love Project
I'm
Hail
going.
Mary. Trust me.
Yep.
Me.
I will find the time and watch it wherever I can find it.
Yep. It's good.
And I have to put in a plug for my two current favorite TV shows, Daredevil Born Again Season 2, which I am absolutely going crazy for because everybody that knows me knows that I'm a huge Marvel Comics dork and proud of it. And of course, the Yellowstone offspin Marshalls, which I'm a big fan of as well. I love the Yellowstone series. And so yeah, those are kind of the two shows that I'm enjoying right now. But that's beside the point, folks, because none of that has anything at all to do with why we're really here. And
One of
I
these
got the
days, we'll
memo.
start a podcast about TV shows, folks.
I
But
know.
today,
That's
We
right.
should have one.
we
We
are here
totally
to
should.
talk about what, Jim?
We are here to talk about PhenomeCon 2026. And folks, if you've been a longtime subscriber to our YouTube channel, then you know that Roger and I historically have always done a PhenomeCon preview every April. And then, of course, we do another PhenomeCon primer just a few weeks before the conference actually starts. So today, we are laying everything out as far as we are already aware of who some of the speakers are. Some of the highlights are what we're going to go over, as well as some of the add-on activities. We're going to get to all of that. And of course, there's going to be additional speakers that get announced as the time draws nearer. So this by no means the list that we're going to discuss today as far as speakers and attendees is going to be a complete and thorough list, because sometimes they add speakers clear up until a couple of days before the conference begins. So, and that's just one of the cool things about PhenomeCon. But massive tip of the hat to Bridget Lake and Leisha and her amazing staff that put PhenomeCon together and make it happen. This is the 6th year. I think I'm a Raiders fan. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 6, right? 6th year of PhenomeCon. And I'm really excited for it. I've actually been fortunate enough to attend every year thus far. And so this will be my 6th year attending. And John, let's just kind of start there. This is going to be what, your 5th year attending?
No.
5th or 4th?
Fourth.
4th year.
4th year.
Okay. Right on. And just kind of real brief, quick overview. What is it about PhenomeCon that draws you in, or that initially drew you in? And more importantly, what keeps you going back?
Well, initially, it's a lot of things. It sounded kind of cool. Its location was interesting because it's, 50 miles away from my hometown. I kind of was already, a fan of Skinwalker Ranch. I was a Skinwalker Ranch insider. There's going to be lots of people from the insiders there that I'd get to meet. So, I was like, yeah, that's going to be cool. Plus, who knows what else, would, what else, what else might happen? I have no idea. I was like, I've never been to PhenomeCon before. I have no idea what I'm in for.
Who knew
yeah,
where you would
so
be today?
I know, right? That, you know what? It's not a joke to say that first trip was life changing.
100%.
It absolutely was life altering, in ways that I don't think not every attendee of PhenomeCon would would be so lucky to to get. But yeah, that was pretty wild. Well, hell, the first night, that was the first time we met, was the dinner before PhenomeCon, the first family reunion, which was used to be called the Insiders
Skinwalker. We used to call it the unofficial Skinwalker Ranch Insider Meetup.
Right.
A lot of words, right?
So it was at that
typical
we technically
verbose
met.
Jim function.
We technically met that night, but then it was the next morning at the Melissa Winterton session
Yes.
where we really met. And then, we were like, holy crap. We kind of had like this shared experience with Melissa, sort of, or we were both experiencing something different, but at the same time in the same session. And then afterward, we're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
There was like, This guy's a brother, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's precisely how I would phrase it, John. And when Roger and I, excuse me, when we came back, dang Dr. Pepper. Ah, creamy coconut Dr. Pepper is neither sponsored or supportive of our endeavor, but we sure love it, right? Anyhow, edit that out. But seriously, folks, Roger and I, after we attended our very first PhenomeCon, the one of the biggest things that our takeaway was that it was life affirming, and we felt the experiences that we had, just in the knowledge that we gained, and the people that we met our first year. And we didn't even do the full immersive experience the first year. We only went for a couple of days. We didn't stay the full time during the first year that Roger and I attended. But it was shortly thereafter that that it really truly became, like you were saying, John, a life-changing experience for me. And I don't mean that in a new age, trippy, new hippie kind of way. Um, I mean it in the standpoint of the great friends and associates that I have made, beginning with the two of you. Truly, it opened up a lot of doors for me, and it's put me down this rabbit hole that I've been so grateful and appreciative of being able to go down. And you were the first one, John, that I connected with as far as the insiders go. And so I completely agree with what you said there. So Johnny, let's move the same question to you. What is it that kind of drew you to PhenomeCon initially, other than your famous parentage? But what,
Well,
more importantly, what keeps you coming back to PhenomeCon?
Other
see,
than your
that's the
famous
bigger thing.
parentage.
You see, that is the bigger thing. So the first time I went to PhenomeCon was really an excuse to spend some time with my family, to go out to the ranch, spend some time with the guys from the show, just, people who I know that I haven't had time with, I haven't really spent much time with, hung out with. That was the big reason of going to PhenomeCon my first year. Little did I know that it would become one of my favorite events that I've ever been to. And it keeps on getting more and more enjoyable as I go. Mind you, does it feel like work? A little bit. Not in a bad way. I'm somebody, as I think people can tell, I kind of enjoy work. I kind of enjoy being busy. So it does feel a little bit like work. I love interacting with the fans. I think it's really weird that just because of my famous parentage, I am put on this sort of pedestal and treated with the same level of, oh my God, it's so awesome to meet you and talk to you. And I love it. It feels weird that people actually are like, oh my God, I want to meet you too. But I'm very honored, and it's a real pleasure to be able to spend the time with people like that. So going back to PhenomeCon every year is a reunion of seeing old friends and meeting new friends. And it's kind of like the weirdest networking experience I've ever had. I've always been really good at networking, but the kind of networking we get to do at events like PhenomeCon are just completely second to none, I believe. You
Yeah.
meet people from TV shows, you meet people that are working alongside them and doing research, but you also meet everyday normal people that are professionals in their own fields that I've had some great conversations, great connections, and I can't really make it because it's a little too difficult with my schedule, but I was actually invited to an entirely unrelated conference that's more related to what I do for a living by a really high level person in our field, just because of making the connections here. And that's something that people can't forget is everyone that is a professional in their own field that comes to these things that also has an interest creates a really nice bond. I think it's a beautiful experience. That's why I really love PhenomeCon.
Yeah, I agree, brother. It's the way that you phrased it by saying that it's like a reunion, and that's a big reason why Roger and I decided to rename the dinner that we host every year on the eve of the beginning of PhenomeCon. We call it the Skinwalker Ranch Family Insider Family Reunion, and that's exactly what it's like, because there are so many friends that we have met specifically, excuse me, either through the Insider program and/or PhenomeCon. And, I think of some of those amazing people like Mara Lee and people like, like your mom, Johnny. That's how I got to meet your mom, and Annie, and,
Annie, yep.
of course, all of our friends at Skinwalker Ranch. And there's just so many great people that are out there that we've met through PhenomeCon. Miriam, just to name a few. And of course, our very dear friend Jeff Freeman. I got to meet Jeff at the second year of PhenomeCon, and it was the beginning of an amazing friendship that still continues to this day. And it is like that. It's like every time we come back to Vernal for PhenomeCon, it is like for me anyway. It feels like going home, and that's really hard to describe. I mean, yeah, I live in Utah, and it's a 3-hour drive away from where I live along the Salt Lake City area. But it's honestly, a combination of just the great humble vibe that the city of Vernal has. There's so many, that is such a cool little mountain town. And just the conference and the vibe and the energy, I guess. I mean, because you already have a pretty amazing, unique energy of a sort in the Uinta Basin to begin with, not just at Skinwalker Ranch, but just the overall greater Uinta Basin area in and of itself. And Vernal just kind of acts as a magnet for attracting all that amazing energy, the good energy that comes along, and PhenomeCon just perfectly coalesces all of that. And it's such a privilege and a joy to attend. And the thing that I've really enjoyed as well is getting to know, as you mentioned, Johnny, is some of the well-known names like Nick Pope. We talked about Nick in our last episode and had a great conversation about Nick. And but if I got to meet Whitley Strieber last year. I mean, the guy, if nothing else, he's a New York Times best-selling author with, of course, his communion book. And he was a
Didn't have the
really
chance to
nice.
meet them.
I know he didn't stick around. Like he was
Yeah.
there and then he was gone.
Did I tell you guys how that came about? I was standing by your dad's booth during I think whatever day it was that Whitley was giving his presentation, and I'm just standing there, and I've got my Skinwalker Ranch shirt on, and I've got the Stetson, and Whitley just walks up to me, and I think he probably thought that I was somebody from the ranch, because he just starts striking up a conversation with me, and I turn around, and it's like, oh my gosh, and I shook his hand, and we got to talking, because he's based out of New York, and of course I'm from upstate New York, and that he and I had a little quick dialogue about, he found out about where in New York I was from, and he's like, oh wow, I just met somebody here at this conference that's from the same area that you are, and he was telling me about all this great UAP activity that's going on there. And I'm like, wow. So it was just a surreal moment, because Whitley Strieber is somebody that I've seen on these documentary programs for decades, multiple decades. And to turn around, and he tapped me on my shoulder, and I turned around, and boom, there he is, standing right there in front of me. Really, really personable guy. Really enjoyed the 5-minute conversation or so that I had with him. But so many other people that are like that. I mean, I got to meet George Knapp and George Norrie last year as well. I mean, that was cool. So, we
George
talked.
Norrie is a fantastic guy.
He's he's
Oh my
just so
gosh.
much fun. I mean, you just can't help but smile when you're in the presence of George Norrie. He's just.
He and I were talking about two things: Elvis Presley and watches. And
Wow.
he's not like a Breitling, a Rolex guy. No, he is not one of the big name watch guys. Now,
Casio.
mind you, that's how the
Timex.
conversation kind of started.
Casio.
Is I was wearing a Timex watch, and he commented that he really liked my watch, and then we started talking about watches, and he shows me his, and I'm like, this is a very interesting watch, because it's a brand I know, but it's not a watch I know. And he's like, yeah, it's pretty surprising, because most of their watches are like $100. This watch is $4,800. I'm like,
Wow.
they make a watch that's that expensive? He's like, it surprised me too, but it tells time. That's all it needs to do.
Good heavens! Wow.
He's a very interesting guy.
So it's interesting that you mentioned the Elvis Presley part, because the conversation that I got to have with George was about lounge music in general, and so we were talking about some of the the Vegas lounge acts like Wayne Newton and gosh, Nancy Sinatra, Lee Hazelwood, all these great lounge lizard kind of type things, and then George Knapp comes walking. What? No, it wasn't George Knapp. Who was somebody else comes walking in, and they overheard our conversation, and it's like all of a sudden we find ourselves neck deep in this conversation about lounge music. So it was just really cool. I really enjoyed getting to talk with George Norrie for a bit there. But that's just another example of how great what a great opportunity PhenomeCon is, to, even if you don't get to meet these people in the same circumstances that the three of us have been fortunate enough to be able to meet some of these people, just being able to listen to their presentations, because all of the presentations that these people give at PhenomeCon are really world class, top drawer, well worth the price of admission to attend. And so I guess that's a great way for us to segue into who some of the speakers are and who
Well,
some of the people are that we can look forward to in
I want to pause
2026.
for a split second there
Sure.
to let people know something about PhenomeCon. If you've ever been to any kind of conference, you haven't been to PhenomeCon. The thing that is very unique about PhenomeCon is it is a much more intimate experience. You actually will reasonably be able to interact with these people. It's not them behind a stanchion and you have to pay $30 to get a picture or get an autograph. No, it is
Well, except for
very open.
one guy.
I, I'm not even
I'm
sure who
not
you're
going
talking
there.
about. But
I'm not
the
gonna
point
do
is,
it.
it's a much more intimate
Wouldn't be prudent.
conference. It's not like Comic-Con or any of those other similar conferences. You
Yes.
actually do have a very reasonable opportunity to talk to these people. That is
Yep.
very unique to this event. But let's
Yep.
talk about some of these
No,
speakers.
100%. And just to kind of piggyback onto that comment, Johnny, is the great thing about PhenomeCon is that they have these photo opportunity sessions with every single one of the main speakers. And like Johnny says, it's free. You get to walk up to them and get your picture taken. And, some cases multiple pictures. But even cooler than that is that most of these folks have their own booth that is set up, and you can walk right up to them and have a conversation with them and chat with them. You'll see them in the hallway, and every single one of them that I've met is 100% approachable, and they're gracious. They're excited to get to know you. They want to find out, hey, where are you from? And it's so
Some
it's
of them
it's
might
kind of
make you
cool.
cry too.
Yeah, yeah, and we're gonna get there. We're gonna talk about him in just a minute. So yeah, folks, we're gonna talk about who some of the speakers are now. Quite obviously, with PhenomeCon taking place in Vernal, Utah, in such close proximity to this wonderful piece of property that we know as Skinwalker Ranch. Skinwalker Ranch is kind of like the one of the main attractions of PhenomeCon, I guess you could say. And of course, all of the Skinwalker Ranch team is making an appearance during the conference. They have multiple events. We'll talk about some of the add-on activities that you can attend. Take a tour out to the perimeter, clear up to the fence of Skinwalker Ranch is one of those add-on activities that you can take advantage of if you wanted to. And of course, there's some dinners that members of the team, they host their own VIP lunches and dinners, and just all kinds of great things. But they show up all throughout the conference, and it's not at all uncommon to be walking out to go get yourself some tacos from the taco truck, and lo and behold, there's Caleb Bench, Chris Roberts, and Dragon, right? And if you're really careful, you might even see Jim Royston and Sam DeRizzo out there as well, which is also always kind of cool. In addition to that, so let's just kind of start from the top of the page here, and folks. To find out more about PhenomeCon 2026, just simply go to www.phenomecon, that's PhenomeCon.net, phenomecon.net. And there'll be a link there where you can register. There's a bunch of different attendance options. You can go with just a single day pass if you wanted to, or you can do what I recommend, which is the full Monty, the 4-day pass, because it's the best value. And trust me, folks, from my own experience, like I said, my first year, Roger and I weren't quite sure what to expect because neither Roger and I were ever the kind of people that thought we would find ourselves at a convention, at a conference that caters to Bigfoot and UFOs and, things of that nature. So we weren't kind of sure what kind of people to expect. And, because, there's a lot of stereotypes that are out there. But because of that, Roger and I only got I think we attended 2 days and we ended up extending for the third day. But, we got there, and I'm here to tell you, folks, if you're somebody that's been on the fence and isn't sure whether something like this is going to be for you, then take my word for it, it is. And if you attend with just attending 1 day or, whatever, trust me, you're going to want to come back the following year to all 4 days. It's really that good of an experience. And I'll just leave it at that. But just kind of working our way down the website here, as you pull up the website and you click on the speakers, of course, occupying the pole position on the website there for the speakers at PhenomeCon 2026 is our very dear friend as a hitchhiker bandmate, Dr. Travis Taylor. And of course, it's always a pleasure to see Travis, regardless of the occasion, but especially at PhenomeCon, where Travis is really kind of in his element there. And of course, he needs no introduction, but for those of you that may not know who Dr. Taylor is, he is a team member of the docu-series on the History Channel, The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, and he is one of the scientific investigators that is part of the Skinwalker Ranch team. And of course, he's also worked with NASA. He is a multiple PhD possessing scientist. He's an optical. He has a PhD in optical science, I believe, and if I'm not mistaken, he's actually currently working on his third PhD. So, one of the smartest individuals that you will ever meet, and just a damn fine human being all around, is Dr. Travis Taylor. And of course,
And
he
a
was
proud
also
redneck.
and 100% proud of that. He's an Alabama boy and proud of the fact. And he also has done, he's been a member of the Ancient Aliens team from time to time. And at PhenomeCon, he usually gets not only his own presentation, which is always a blast, because he shares insights that are just jaw dropping at times. And of course, he participates in the Skinwalker Ranch panel and a couple others. And if they do another Ancient Aliens panel this year, I'm sure Travis will probably be a part of that as well. But Dr. Taylor is one of the marquee names that we're excited to see returning. Also is a gentleman by the name of Jay Wasley, and he is somebody that's famous for being in the program Ghost Adventures. Now, does one of you, John or Johnny, one of you want to kind of talk about Jay? Because you probably know a little bit more about him than I do.
I know nothing about him, unfortunately.
I know
That's might
a
be the
bit
only
about
one on
Ghost
this list I
Adventures,
don't know. Yeah.
but I don't know a whole lot about Jay specifically.
Yep.
So, I
I
mean,
think he
Ghost
might be the only
Adventures,
one on this list I don't know.
it's a great show. I have personal opinions about the show that I won't necessarily share. That tells you what the kind of opinions are. But the guys, from what I understand, are pretty cool. So if I have the opportunity to meet them, as everybody knows, I'm probably going to go right up and start a nice conversation. Just get to know the guy.
Cool. Yeah, I'm, don't, no worries, Johnny, as we're in the no spin zone here. So, um, I, people know that I kind of have a difficult time with a lot of the ghost hunting type shows and the paranormal shows that are out there, simply because I don't see a lot of science being applied with a lot of them. A lot of it seems to be sensationalistic, which is not the way that you reel somebody like me in. I've got to see, you know, data, concrete data with actual credentialed scientists to get me to really take it as anything other than entertainment. And of course, I know some detractors right away are going to say, "Oh, that's pretty rich coming from the guy that is a self-proclaimed fan of Skinwalker Ranch." Well, if you want to do that Texas two-step, then I accept. Because the secret of Skinwalker Ranch is 100% based on science, and you have multiple credentialed scientists and subject matter experts that work out there. But in saying so, folks, please don't take that as me trying to stir up any crap, because that's not my intention. It's just I can empathize somewhat with Johnny, because the paranormal shows are a bit of a harder sell with me. Doesn't mean that I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in. It doesn't mean that I'm not saying I don't believe in the afterlife. Quite obviously, I do. It's just I think that a lot of people get sucked in to some of these ghost shows, and it seems to be more snake oil and more. And there I go using a derogatory term again, so I
Right.
apologize.
I find that the approach that guys like Jason Hawes and Taps take to a ghost hunt, you know, a paranormal investigation, I feel like it is a little bit more reasonable, because they are very quick to try to say this is not paranormal, this is because of this plumbing issue, this electrical issue. They want data such as video evidence, audio evidence, rather than just the personal experience side. They make it plainly clear that we can't make our determination of if this place is haunted or not based off of what we experience, only what we can document.
And
That's a big deal.
I much prefer an approach like that. And there are some paranormal teams, I guess you could say, that are coming to PhenomeCon that are really that have my respect. Cypress Paranormal is one of those teams that absolutely has my respect, and I think that they are the real deal. And there are some others. I think Cindy Kazaa, Dave Schrader, who we're going to get to in a moment. Those are other people that I think very highly of in the field, that I think are doing everything they can to move the field forward. Again, it's not, I'm not trying to throw the baby out with the bathwater with my criticisms that I have. It's just my personal opinion, and it doesn't mean that it's uh, any more valid than somebody that holds the contrary viewpoint to my own. So
Yeah.
just my own opinion there.
And I
But
can think a show is not very good and absolutely love the people that are on it. So it's
yeah,
sometimes it's
And
not
vice versa.
necessarily the people that are on the show. Absolutely. Sometimes it is not necessarily there's people on the show. It can be production. It could be all this other stuff that make things sensationalized, because everybody knows TV channels want sensation. So it's not
exactly.
always their fault. That is a really big thing we have to give credit to these people. It's not always on them.
Yep, 100%. And so also attending, she was here last year, was Amy Bruni. She belongs to the Kindred Spirits and Haunted Road podcast. And of course, one of our favorites, okay, one of my favorites, from Expedition Bigfoot, Dr. Maria Mayor, who is not only one of my favorite human beings, but she is just the coolest person if you get a chance to talk to her. She is so intelligent, and I mean, she's credited with discovering a brand new species of primates. She's a world-renowned primatologist, and of course, she's a key member of the Discovery series Expedition Bigfoot, which I'm a big fan of. Expedition Bigfoot is the program that actually got me to really take the Bigfoot subject seriously. And I credit Dr. Mayor and her level-headed, very rational, scientific approach to the way that she does her investigations on Expedition Bigfoot. And this will be, I believe, her fourth or fifth time coming back to PhenomeCon. And I'm really excited. I've had a chance to meet her and talk with her. She's just a sweetheart of a woman, and she's essentially like the female Indiana Jones. Have either of you guys had a chance to meet her and talk to her?
No, nope. I've just heard her speak.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, she's.
she's great. She is such a sweet person, so kind, and you know,
Yep.
whereas she is this really high up, well-respected, beloved person in her, high level industry that she's doing with this research, down to earth, extremely down to earth person. She's great. I do really enjoy listening to her speak and just hanging out. She's awesome.
100%. She's got the coolest sense of humor as well. And one of the things that I enjoy doing is watching when the Expedition Bigfoot team is there at PhenomeCon, how they bust each other's chops. I mean, we get to see that with the guys from Skinwalker Ranch, but Russ and Maria And when Ronnie LeBlanc was a member of the Expedition Bigfoot crew, they just used to bust each other's chops when they were up
Some of
giving
the
their
stuff she would say
presentations.
to Russ wasn't just busting his chops, but like straight up like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you said that." Like
Right.
they're great, but
Yeah.
great friends
Yeah.
too.
It's
Like that is
Yep.
how some people show love.
Yep.
If I make fun of you, it means I like you.
100%. 100%. So then we also have, as we move down the website, we have, in my opinion, of course, now I'm very biased, but one of the biggest heavy hitters here at PhenomeCon, coming back for what I believe is his third or fourth time, a man who needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyway, J. Mother Effin Stratton. And of course, that's a name that's going to be very familiar to the folks that watch our podcast. But Jay is not only a very dear friend of mine, but he's kind enough to have invited me to play in his band Hitchhiker with him and Travis Taylor and this gentleman right here, Mr. John Nyberger. And Jay, of course, was the director of the UAP task force, and he was also involved from the very beginning in the what is now the legendary program OSAP, the Advanced Aerospace Weapons System Application Program. And of course, Jay made a phenomenal appearance in the Age of Disclosure film and was an executive producer of that groundbreaking documentary that we are such big fans of. And Johnny, I'm not gonna go to you on this one because it wouldn't be fair. But John, I'm gonna ask you because you're not directly related, even though you and I have kind of been adopted by the Stratton family. But what was it like for you the last 2 years to hear Jay give his presentation? I mean, for me, it was my jaw was on the floor half of the time. And this is a guy that I know. But
Uh-huh.
again, as I've said multiple times, when I'm around Jay, we don't talk about UAP stuff. We don't talk about Skinwalker Ranch stuff. We talk
Right.
about just regular everyday stuff that friends and two guys would talk about, especially music. But what was it like for you to listen to Jay now give two presentations at PhenomeCon?
Hmm. Well, the first one, I think, what was, I won't say the most interesting, but that's when it first really hit me. I mean, of course, we know who Jay is. We
Right.
knew some of his background, but in that first talk at PhenomeCon, he went into a lot more depth about his career and how he ended up where he was. And the most important part of that to me is he was the perfect person for the job at the time. Like his career put him in a position that made him the guy. Like if someone wanted to know what was in the skies, he was the guy that would know what it was. You know, foreign or an allied, airline, anything in the air or in space, he would know what it was. Like this is the guy you go to. He's literally like, so it makes perfect sense that he would be the guy that people would be like, "Hey Jay, uh, can you take a look at this? Like, what the hell is that?" And you go, "Oh yeah, that's a such and such. Doobie Watts it. Mark III." But then he starts seeing some stuff you can't explain. And he's like, "Okay, we got to figure out what this stuff is." It makes perfect sense when you hear it the entire story in context. So that's what really that first talk did for me. Is like it absolutely made sense, and he touched on something. He touched on how hard it is to get someone in that role because you need someone with that type of experience, and it's hard to find someone that fills all those gaps. Well, you can find with somebody that's got experience in one area, but not the 10 other areas you have to know, to pull this type of thing off. So that was the thing I was most impressed with that first talk.
Yeah, and I keep going back to one of the things that impresses me the most about Jay is the way that he built the UAP task force, right? The whole of government approach, as he likes to say. And why would you not want to build a an organization like that that uses that kind of approach? And I think that had the UAP task force been allowed to remain intact, I think we'd be in a slightly different, if not better place regarding perhaps our knowledge of these anomalous craft that are out there. But it's always a highlight of PhenomeCon to not only see Jay and get to spend some time with him, but to listen to him give his presentations. I mean, he is a man that carries himself with such character and dignity that we talked about it in the last episode when we had Caleb and Chris and Ben on, that silent professionalism, right? And Jay just exudes that silent professionalism. He's not a man of many words, but when he does say something, you pretty damn well better take notice of when he does have something to say. And thankfully at PhenomeCon, he's always got some really great new nuggets of information to share with us that are always, for me anyway, a highlight of the conference. Johnny, anything that you would like to add?
Well, I'm not really sure who this guy you're talking about is, but he sounds pretty interesting. Um,
He does
no,
have the
but
same last name as you. I'm just saying.
it is weird. Every time, because I mean, I've been there as many times as he has, and I've listened to him speak. This is the first time I'm hearing a lot of this too, because we don't talk about this stuff. So when he went into the details about how he got to where he was in his career, I knew most of that. But when he starts talking about the other stuff that's a little more in depth about what actually happened or some of the other smaller things, like I that's news to me. I did not realize how big certain other events that had happened that I can't give the details on because if you weren't at PhenomeCon, you don't know. I can't share it. But the details of what led to him feeling the duty to do this work, that was the first time I've ever actually known that. I have never heard about that from him. So it's just
Yep.
as fascinating
I
for
know
me to
exactly
hear
what
this
you mean.
stuff
Yep.
because, like, it's not that we don't talk, it's that we don't talk about this stuff. So it's very fascinating to be able to see my own father up on stage talking because he's not somebody who ever in a million years wanted to get on stage and talk. It's just a matter of feeling that duty that he needs to because it's what gets the mission accomplished. That is the ultimate thing. Is whatever he wants does not matter as much as accomplishing the mission. And that I'm very thankful to say that that's a pretty big thing in the family. We got to accomplish the mission in front of us.
And you definitely come by it honest, sir. I would have to add my amen to everything you just said. That is definitely my experience with Jay Stratton as well. And I know from my angle of it, I'm just excited to see Jay coming back again for another round of PhenomeCon, and it's going to be a highlight once again, I'm sure. And of course, we also have another kind of high profile individual who's coming back to PhenomeCon. He wasn't, unfortunately, wasn't able to make it last year, but Ben Hansen, who, of course, I believe is a former, I want to say uh, FBI agent, if I'm not mistaken. But Ben Hansen is a really well-respected UFO slash UAP researcher that I also have a great deal of respect for. And he was apparently born and raised same place where my wife was, right here in the area where my wife and I currently live. So it was kind of cool to find that out about Ben. But I did get a chance to meet him briefly the first time he came to PhenomeCon, and very, very nice gentleman, very polite, very attentive, and just a class act all around. I don't know if either of you have had a chance to meet Ben Hansen before, but he's somebody I'm really excited to see coming back.
I met him at Jay's house.
Oh well,
So bringing that back around. I
rub it
don't
in,
think
why
I
don't you?
I don't think I saw him at PhenomeCon.
Really? Oh wow, yeah,
No,
he was. Yeah,
I don't think was
2 years.
I met him at
I don't think
PhenomeCon. I did not meet him at my parents' house. However, I do know that they're friends.
That's right. You weren't there. I thought you were there, but you
Yeah.
weren't.
Nope.
You were there for the march.
Correct.
show
Yes,
that
I
we
was there
did, but you
for
weren't
the
there
St. Patrick's Day show.
for that was
Not for
so
SCU.
SCU
Right.
before the SCU thing. It was before you made it out there, Jim. That's why you didn't meet him there. You weren't out there yet. You were in transit, I think. That's why.
I at
It's a
SCU.
small world
That
when
was
the
before
Stratton
I
family
was.
is involved.
That was before I was voluntold I was a
No,
member
no,
of
this
Hitchhiker.
last year, this last SCU.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get to meet him this last year. So
Yep. Yeah,
okay.
it was before SCU. He was we met, and then you showed up a couple days later. So I think you just missed it.
Yeah.
But that's all I know about him. I haven't run into him at PhenomeCon, strangely enough.
Oh
So
well. Hopefully,
I've heard him sing.
hopefully, Ben Hansen sings.
Yeah, I was playing drums while Jay was playing guitar. I think Micah and Caleb were playing guitar. Ben was singing, and I was playing drums. And I don't know. I don't remember who else might have been there. I think maybe Tim Massey was there. I don't know.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was. I
I
don't
had no
remember who all
idea.
was down there at the time. We were just goofing around because clearly I'm not a drummer, so that limited our
Oh, don't sell yourself
ability.
short. You and Johnny are both not too shabby when it comes to your drumming capabilities. So I don't want to hear the humility from either of you on that count.
I suck.
Not in the slightest.
No, I haven't been able to keep time for like 2 weeks. I've been pretty bad.
It's tricky. It's harder than it looks.
It really is. Sometimes being a deaf guy it makes it a challenge, but it is the only instrument that I can probably play.
Yep, it's
Wow.
tricky. But anyway, I didn't mean to derail us, but
No,
it's just funny that I haven't
what
met
we
him at
do.
PhenomeCon,
That's what
but
we
I
do.
saw him at SCU.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see Ben Hansen coming back this year. And then, of course, also from Expedition Bigfoot, we have Russ Acord is coming back to PhenomeCon, and seeing him in Maria will be awesome. And Russ is another guy that just has a great sense of humor. His presentations are always really something to behold, and looking forward to that. And as I mentioned earlier, Cindy Kazaa is coming back, and she was really cool. Got to listen to her last year. She's a member of the Dead Files, the Holzer Files, Ghosts of Devil's Perch, and she works quite often with a gentleman who I want to talk about right now. Somebody who John mentioned it earlier. Somebody who actually made us cry when he gave a
Yeah,
presentation 2 years ago.
I
And
think
of
twice
course,
now.
I
Maybe I'm not
that
sure,
I
but
have
at
never
least
been
once.
happy to cry in sadness, but that is this man, I swear.
that
He is
gentleman that we're talking
gifted.
about is Mr. Dave Schrader, and his presentations. I mean, I can't imagine PhenomeCon without Dave Schrader. I really can't. He's
Yep.
become such an identifying aspect of the PhenomeCon experience, for me anyway.
One of
And
my favorite things is he got introduced as the broke Dave Ramsey.
yeah, I can see that. I can see that. But speaking of a man that just has such a great sense of humor and charisma to spare. I mean, one of the best public speakers I've ever seen at PhenomeCon. And there's a couple. There's quite a few good ones. We're going to talk about a few more, but just kind of blowing through this. Dave Schrader is he's somebody that I look forward to seeing every year at PhenomeCon, and it's
Yep.
just a real pleasure to see him returning this year.
Yeah, he's a must watch, must see. Do not skip
100%.
Dave.
Yep. And of course, we've got James Keenan is coming back. Of course, he's really into archaeology and different things like that. And Richard Estep, the famous author, he's coming back. And the gentleman that has become kind of the MC of PhenomeCon, another one of my favorite people, Greg Lawson. Of
Yep.
course, he's well known as the paranormal detective, a lot of people say, but Greg is just one of the coolest guys on the planet. He's a lifelong law enforcement officer, and he still trains a lot of up and coming officers and professional investigators for the Texas Department of Public Safety. And he's a really fantastic author. He's written a couple of books that are among my favorite books. He wrote one that I highly recommend called Roswell, the After Action Report, that is written
Oh,
up as though it were a modern day police or law enforcement investigation. And Greg is so thorough and he's so methodical with the way he picks everything apart and puts it back together. And the man, he's just a great person to be around, great person to have a conversation with. One of the most kind and down to earth people I've had the pleasure of meeting. And Greg has been at every PhenomeCon thus far, is from what I can recall. So this, I believe, is his 6th year and his 3rd year that he'll be hosting, taking up the MC duties for PhenomeCon. But have either of you had a chance to interact with Greg much?
just while we were having breakfast with him at the hotel last year.
Right.
I mean,
Yes, yes, yes. Yep.
Every morning we'd see him down there having some
I
eggs
talked
and,
to him every day of PhenomeCon repetitively because anytime he needed something from my dad, he would come find me, who then had to go find my mom to be able to find him. But no, Greg is amazing. I wish that he would also present. That's the
Yeah.
thing about being an MC that really kind of sucks, is you're not also presenting. That would be great if he could have his own time slot.
Yes, indeed. I completely agree. Completely agree.
yeah, I'd love to hear him speak.
And another friend of ours is going to be presenting at PhenomeCon again this year. Somebody that we've had on the podcast fairly recently, and that would be Mr. Dustin Eskelson, the director of the Utah chapter of the Mutual UFO Network, or MUFON. And Dustin is just, again, one of my favorite human beings. And he's just a great guy to talk to. He's so down to earth, truly a humble guy, and just he has a spirit about him that just kind of lights up the room every time he comes in a room. And I'm excited to see Dustin at PhenomeCon again. And then we also have, speaking of friends, Ben Woodruff, who has been on the podcast a number of times,
Oh
and
my God, I love that guy.
we talked a moment ago about guys that are just natural born public speakers, and somebody that is able to keep a huge crowd in the palm of his hand, and that would be Mr. Ben Woodruff. Ben is so good. I mean, not only does he really know his area of expertise, which is biology and archaeology, and he's so passionate about UFOs, UAPs, and of course his experiences at Skinwalker Ranch, which he absolutely had us completely wrapped in attention the entire time that he was giving his presentation. He was a last minute addition to the conference when Eric Bard had to cancel last year, but Ben, quite honestly, just might have given my all-time favorite presentation at PhenomeCon. He was so good. I mean, we come into PhenomeCon on a Friday morning and you're kind of like already a little bit hungover from not getting any sleep because you're so excited for all the stuff that's happened the previous days. And you trudge into the ballroom on Friday morning and Ben's there, and I got to walk up to him real quickly and shake his hand, and I was expecting, I got myself a Mountain Dew so I'd be able to stay awake, and I didn't even have to drink the thing because Ben was just so, just so much energy and passion. You couldn't help but be taken in by it. So I'm super excited now that we're even closer friends with Ben now than we were last year. And it'll be like, seeing an old friend again at PhenomeCon this year. And I cannot wait to see his presentation. What about you guys?
Absolutely. Can't wait. Love that guy. Seriously, just from the couple of times I heard him speak at PhenomeCon, and I was like, I already love this guy. And then you
Yeah.
see him on the show, and he's like, yeah, he's cool on the show, but he's like freaking amazing in person. And then he's been on our show. He's been on here twice at least, right? Twice.
Yeah, twice. Yep.
Freaking love the man. He's fantastic. Can't wait to see him.
100%.
Absolutely. I can't wait either. What's really funny to me is before he gave his first ever PhenomeCon speech, he had said that he was nervous that everyone is going to fall asleep.
No, no,
Yeah.
Yes.
no caffeine was
He was
necessary that
nervous.
day.
He was very
No
nervous. And what's
can
funny
do,
is
hell.
he had the least
Yeah.
amount of time to prepare and he had the most props available.
Yep.
I mean, he had a table. The
Yep.
running joke is that he has a closet full of skeletons and it's not figurative.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, he's another one that is just somebody that I'm truly grateful to have crossed paths with because he is such a genuine, sincere, good human being. And he places such great value on respect and dignity and compassion and kindness towards others that is seldom seen these days. And he's an old soul, and those are the kind of people that I gravitate towards. And it's a real blessing to have had a chance to get to know Ben, and cannot wait for him to be at PhenomeCon this year, and hopefully get to hang out with him a little bit at the conference in between stuff. That would be a lot of fun too. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention some of the other rock stars that are coming to PhenomeCon, namely Mr. Pete Kelsey is going to be making an appearance at PhenomeCon this year, which will be awesome to see. Mr. Brown Socks himself, and we're all big fans of Pete. And of course, along with him, we've got all the gentlemen at Skinwalker Ranch. So Dragon's going to be there, Caleb Thomas, Chris Roberts is going to be there. Everybody that's a member of the staff at Skinwalker Ranch is going to be there. And even if they're not presenting, usually on Saturday, if not a day or so before, like I said, you'll probably if you're careful, you'll catch a glimpse or two of Jim Royston and Sam DeRizzo and some of the other rock stars that are members of the Skinwalker Ranch team will be
And
there as well.
I don't know if it's official that it's happening, but to my understanding, we also are expecting to see the guys from Lock Precision. So we should
Yes, and that
see.
was
They're on the page.
they're on
They're
the
on the
page.
page.
Yep,
Awesome.
yep.
I can. So I can never. I can never remember Dave's buddy's name. I straight up forgot. He was on the cruise with us, and
Alan.
I straight up looked
Dave
at
Barber
Alan.
and Alan Isdell.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh.
I
Yep.
did do
Yeah,
a double take
if
when I
you-
saw Dave Barber.
Yeah,
Alan, if you see this,
Uh,
you know I'm not sorry. I forgot your name straight to your face so many times. But yeah, Dave, Alan are freaking amazing. Those guys are great.
I saw Dave Barber and my brain thought Jake Barber. I'm like, what the hell?
right.
Or dude, trust
Yeah,
what the crap?
That
Oh,
that
what the
would
crap?
get interesting real quick.
That would
Well-
get real interesting real quick.
When it comes to rock stars, y'all need to talk to them about music because they are great. You really do.
Well, I look forward to it. I know that the guys from Locke have come to PhenomeCon in the past, at least as attendees, and
Yep. I've seen him. Looking at Dave's photo, I'm like, why do I know this guy? I know I've seen him in person. It's like, oh yeah, they were at he was at the show, I think.
Yeah. So I never had the opportunity to go up and introduce myself to him and say hello to him and tell him what a big fan I am of what they do with Lock Precision. So it's going to be cool to see them there, and I wouldn't be surprised if the case being with Dave and Alan being there and Travis being there and Pete, we might see some cool stuff for add-on activities at PhenomeCon. So what a great way to segue then from the speakers. And bear in mind, folks, this isn't a complete list of the speakers. There are some others that I didn't give mention to, and it's not because they're not important. It's just we're kind of pressed for time here to make this fit into a nice, neat package here without keeping you here for 2 hours, folks.
We do have to mention Chris Roberts and Melissa Winterton, though.
Yes, Chris Roberts.
We can't get through this list and not mention those two.
100%. Chris
Yep.
Roberts and Melissa Winterton.
And if you
Folks,
buy a Skinwalker shirt, you'll more than likely see, if not Missy, but their children are generally the ones running that stand. So give them a high five, thank them for what they're doing if you come out and see them.
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome family.
Because
And
they
they do
make
an
the show
excellent
possible
job.
too.
Yep.
They do a lot
One-
to help the show and they don't get a lot of praise.
100%. 100%. And again, folks, there will be additional speakers and presenters that will get added to the roster for PhenomeCon in the coming weeks and months. And like I said, sometimes there will people that will get added literally the day before they give their presentation. So keep checking back with PhenomeCon.net, or better yet, register to attend, and you'll get notified by email whenever somebody new is added to the roster for PhenomeCon 2026. So with that, great segue. Speaking of Melissa Winterton, let's go ahead and start with Melissa Winterton with a great add-on activity that she has called a sunrise meditation. And John talked about this at the beginning of our episode tonight. That was kind of a shared event that John and I attended the
Oh,
year
we
that
weren't at the meditation.
you didn't go to the okay. Yeah, she went.
No,
Okay, so it was her
I am
workshop.
not a morning person. I'm not getting up that early to
Okay,
meditate. I'd just
so
fall right back to sleep.
that's right. That's right. She gave a workshop, which is where you and I attended
Yep.
together,
Yep.
and then she did the sunrise meditation on Friday, the Friday of PhenomeCon, and talk about a life-changing experience. I'd always wanted to learn how to do better at meditation, and Melissa was just absolutely brilliant with this gift that she has. She is truly, I guess the best way I could phrase it is that she's kind of for me anyway. It's almost like she's a healer. She has like
Oh,
this
she
this
is.
this healing
Totally.
vibe about her. And when I attended her sunrise meditation, I was not sleeping well because I had lost both of my parents recently, and I was just kind of struggling, trying to find some kind of continuing comfort and peace. And I was hoping to maybe find that through meditation. And she gave me some of the valuable skills that I needed to learn how to do that myself. And folks, it literally changed my life. It helped me to relax. It helped me to center myself. And again, I'm not trying to put this in a, you know, new age, hippie kind of vibe, because that is so not who I am. If any of you know who I truly am as a person, that's the furthest thing from what I actually am. And for those of you that are, good for you. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that's, I'm not a new age preacher kind of type thing. But Melissa has a skill set and a talent and a gift that is truly unique. And she has this sunrise meditation that she does every Friday at PhenomeCon. And it's held before the day's activities begin. So it's kind of like an early morning thing. I want to say it's probably a 7:30 start time or
It's.
thereabouts.
I just checked. It's 8:30 to 9:30 on Friday morning.
Okay, 8:30 to 9:30. So
Yep. I
fo-
might be
fo-
able to do that.
folks, I have done this multiple years. I didn't do it last year, but I've done it multiple times, and it is well worth the money. And that's all I can say there. Have either of you, now, John, I do you want to share any of your experience with Melissa, or Johnny? Do
Well,
you
nah,
have?
she just absolutely, as you described it, she is a healer through music. Like just through her. She is a fantastic pianist, like just amazing. But the way she can work through different, this is hard to explain because the energy in the room completely shifts like when she starts playing, you know
100%.
and the way she plays shifts it, and it shifts in different directions depending on what she's doing. And and I will admit, when the first time we sat down in the session, I'm like, I had never heard her. I still didn't really know her. This was the first time I'd ever met her. And I was just like, okay, we'll see how this goes. Within within the first 30 seconds, I was like, holy crap. First of all, she's really good. But then she starts the way she's playing. Like, I mean, I play a little piano, not a tenth or a hundredth as well as that, but I would never think, even the stuff she was playing was blowing my mind. The way she's moving in and out of different, you know, just kind of following this dynamic flow and redirecting energy, and just pulling you could not help but be sucked into it and be pulled along with where she was taking the room. It was amazing. It was really wonderful. I highly recommend it. I don't know if she's I assume she's doing that again this year. I think she did it last year, but I missed it.
I
But
think I think she's probably, and of course we don't have the PhenomeCon have not released the official schedule yet because they're still not complete with adding more speakers. But I'm fairly confident in saying that they'll probably have Melissa giving another workshop like you and I attended,
I
John,
hope so. I want to go
which
see it.
would be included in your PhenomeCon pass price. There's no additional cost for that. The sunrise meditation is a add-on activity, so therefore it is an additional fee, $35. And again, folks, I give my strongest endorsement to attending Melissa's sunrise meditation. It's really that good. Johnny, do you have any experience with either of those?
I've never been to any of her meditation stuff. Meditation's really not something that is for me. Just with my paranormal weird experiences, I've also been recommended I probably stay away from it. But as a person, amazing. If you have any opportunity to go see her workshop, at minimum, you should go do it. I'm sure it's amazing because she
Yep.
is amazing.
Yep.
And she's a sweetheart. She's super
Absolutely.
cool. Love
I
her to
tried to
death.
get her
Absolutely.
attention one time, and I had to just go, "Mom, it it's ingrained. It's ingrained."
I can I can definitely see that. And so, of course, we also have we talked about it again at the beginning of our episode tonight. One of the most popular add-on activities is the perimeter tour to Skinwalker Ranch, which is a an add-on activity that you can attend. Space is extremely limited. It is kind of on the pricey side. I think it's $100 per person, but it's a chance to ride on a really small shuttle bus with Dragon and Thomas, and they take you literally right up to the gate of Skinwalker Ranch, where even if you ever get to the property, there's like this set of concrete barriers with these big signs that say, "Stop, you're entering private property." And it actually, my understanding is they actually walk you beyond those barriers right up to the gate of the property, which is really cool. And everybody that I've talked to that's taken that tour loves it. And I know several people that do it every year. So if one of the things that's your if one of your goals is to actually get to Skinwalker Ranch and set foot on it, you're not stepping foot inside the gate, quite obviously, because that's an active scientific investigation and it is private property after all, and it is Skinwalker Ranch after all. But you do get to set foot on the property going clear up all the way up to the gate if it is like it has been in years past. So that's but it fills up quickly. And from what I'm looking at right now, there's only one session left, and they might open up some additional tours for it. But it's one of the first add-on activities to fill up and sell out. So that's one to look forward to.
And my understanding, though, is it is actually a pretty moderately intense event as far as walking, moving around. So,
Yes.
unfortunately, it's not all that handicap accessible, unfortunately. So,
Yes.
that is something that people should keep in mind. It's heartbreaking for those who don't have as good of a mobility to be able to walk around, but there is a fair amount of walking, and it's not exactly even terrain.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah,
Excellent point.
little bumpy out there.
Yep.
Just a little bit.
The other one, which is an event that Roger and I are the biggest cheerleaders for, that we have attended every year that we have attended PhenomeCon. And that is this nice little thing called the Voice of the Believers Open Mic and Dinner that they hold every Friday night of PhenomeCon at the Remember the Maine State Park, which is this absolutely gorgeous state park just outside of downtown Vernal in an absolutely gorgeous red rock canyon. One of the most picturesque canyons I've ever been in. And it's just a little ways down the road from McConkey Ranch, where the petroglyphs are located. But what makes this particular event my favorite add-on activity at PhenomeCon is number one, the food. You pay $50 per person extra as the add-on activity fee, and you get served a world-class Dutch oven chuck wagon style barbecue dinner, and it is some of the most delicious food you will ever have. whether at PhenomeCon or otherwise. We're talking barbecue ribs, barbecue chicken, barbecue beans, and like 6 or 7 different kinds of homemade, made from scratch, cooked in Dutch ovens cobbler, like apple cobbler, peach cobbler, cherry cobbler, blackberry, blueberry, apple. I mean, just it's served with homemade vanilla bean ice cream. Uh, Folks, I'm here to
Jim,
tell
will you
you,
stop this?
I'm,
Just
I'm,
stop.
yeah,
I'm on a diet, my friend,
I'm getting the
and this is
sweats
not
right
helping.
now just talking about it.
Yeah, when
And,
you got to the cobbler and the vanilla bean ice cream, like
John,
my
we
mouth just
discussed
started.
this. We discussed this. When you are traveling,
Oh,
travel
right,
rules.
but yeah,
calories
but now
don't
I'm
count as
hungry
much.
now, not in September. Now I want it now.
I know, I know. We also can't forget to mention when we talk about food, Antica Forma.
Oh man,
They
no,
haven't
it's
gotten
really
a
bad.
sponsor.
It's really
They haven't
bad.
gotten an
Don't go
advertisement
there.
from us in a while.
Folks, don't go to Antica Forma.
It's awful. You're gonna
It's
hate
not.
it.
You're gonna hate it. Yeah. We're going to get there to Antica Forma in a minute, but to wrap up the Voice of the Believers dinner, um, so it's just this really excellent dinner that gets served to you, and then after dinner, there's like this massive bonfire. They set up these chairs, and you're going to want to dress warmly if you're not used to cold weather. Um, Me being of Viking descent, you're going to see me out there wearing my shorts and my sandals when it's, 50, 40 degrees. Heck, I wear them in a snowstorm, folks. That's just, again, my mama dropped me on my head. but but dress warmly, or bring your own camp chair if you want to, bring a blanket to wrap up in if you want to, because where it really takes on a whole nother dimension is they have an open mic where attendees, just regular folks like us, uh, gather around this bonfire and share their experiences that they've had, whether it's UAP or UFO, Bigfoot sightings, um, paranormal, ghosts, shadow being encounters. We even had some people that have, been UFO abductees that have shared their stories. And the great thing about it is that it is 100% of safe space. Nobody is going to make fun of you. Nobody is going to heckle you, because if they do, I'm going to be there and I'm going to give them the business, because I don't tolerate crap like that. But all kidding aside, PhenomeCon is very good about creating that safe space. You will be among fellow experiencers. If you happen to be an experiencer, this is the one event that I cannot recommend enough that you need to attend. And you get a great meal out of it, but it's the sharing of the stories and the experiences afterward. Because here's what happens, folks. When people are in a setting like that and they're sharing these truly, in some instances, traumatic experiences, life changing, life altering, both for good and for bad, it's it has this really amazing unifying effect. And you find yourself gathering strength and courage from the story and testimony of others. And I know that sounds kind of weird to maybe some of you, but that is one of the reasons where uh, the true spirit of PhenomeCon comes into place, is at this event, the Voice of the Believers open mic and dinner. And I attend it every year. It's one of those events that I refuse to miss. So if nothing else, you get to see me there and get to watch me feeding this big, abyss of a orifice here. But well worth the time and the energy to attend the open mic dinner. And there's plenty of space for that. I don't think it's ever sold out. There's usually get about 100 or so people that attend, and it's just always a good crowd, always a good time. Now, John, have you ever attended that? Did you come with me one year?
I went 2 years ago, and that's why I was going to reiterate. Even if it's warm in Vernal, it's not warm where they do that event. For some reason, that little canyon there funnels the cool air flowing right down through it. You will freeze if
Yep.
you don't take something warm. Like we had to get some blankets out of your car
Yeah.
I think, or you're the guys that came in your band who were
Yeah.
getting blankets out of their car, so I wouldn't freeze to death. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, it's warm. I'm not going to take a jacket.
Yep.
Dumb move. It gets cold.
Definitely dress accordingly. That is for certain. Don't follow my lead, folks. Don't follow my example. But of course, I also had plenty of natural insulation as well, which hopefully, when PhenomeCon comes, I will not have as much. I'm working on it. And then after that, one of the other highly sought after events, add-on activities, is the rocket launch with the Skinwalker Ranch cast, and that's always on Saturday. And again, that's another pricey event. It's $100 per person, but we've been fortunate enough to attend it in the past. I got to attend it for the first time last year, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, we see the cast of Skinwalker Ranch setting off rockets constantly on the docuseries, and being there in person to watch the excitement of Travis Taylor, especially last year when he got to launch a rocket that was made by a Skinwalker Ranch insider. Big tip of the hat to PJ and Brian for creating a rocket fashioned after Travis's guitar, which Travis just absolutely was like a kid on Christmas when he saw that. And just to see the look on his face when he got to fire that rocket off was really a special moment to be there for. So that's another one that I definitely can recommend is well worth the
And the
time
Rock
attending.
Paul guitar flew better than the rockets that are
Yes.
purpose built is the fascinating
Right?
part about it.
Yep. And we
Yeah,
might have a different one this year, right?
exactly. And then the other one that I want to give a shout out to is the behind the scenes Skinwalker Ranch dinner, which they hold. I think it's going to be on Wednesday or Thursday this year. That's another one that I make sure that I attend every year because you get all of the Skinwalker Ranch team. Plus, you usually get Jay gets up there on stage. And what they do is they will pick an episode or a couple of episodes that are from the most current season. And of course, we just got the news that The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch season 7 looks like it's going to be debuting in May. So just a couple of weeks. So we're excited about that. But the cast will kind of, as everybody is served this dinner, and I always enjoy the dinner, but more so than the dinner, I just enjoy the company because John's always there, and Johnny's there, and Johnny's mom, and it's great to sit at a table with my dear friends there, and we've had Mara Lee join us in the past, and Roger, of course, and it's just a good time to see the team, having fun at each other's expense and giving us a
Uh-huh.
really cool, exactly as the title of the event is called, a behind the scenes glimpse into what happened when the cameras weren't rolling on those episodes or what happened after, maybe on the footage that got cut. And so you learn a lot of really cool things. Like, for instance, that episode that's been called Drone Ageddon, right?
Uh-huh.
Where all the drones started falling out of the sky. And we get this great backstory that before that happened, it was precipitated by Thomas kind of jokingly saying to the ranch, if you really want to impress me, why don't you knock a couple drones out of the sky? Well, the ranch, of course, was like, here, hold my beer. And so we found out through one of these behind the scenes dinners that the drones did, the ranch did just that. The ranch responded, and it created a spectacle that was really quite something to see. And to hear Thomas's personal description of how everything kind of led up to that was really cool to see. And that event, I believe, is I think it's like $75 or something like that. That's another one that I highly recommend, especially if you are a fan of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. Now, both of you I know have attended
Mhm.
that behind the scenes dinner. And Johnny,
Yep.
what are your thoughts on the behind the scenes dinner with Skinwalker Ranch?
I thoroughly enjoy it because I just do as I'm told. I don't know that I'm attending these events and then I just have to show up. And that was one I literally ate dinner right before the event. And so I'm sitting there. I tried to pawn off. I forget what they were feeding us. I think it was like meatloaf or something. I'm sitting there trying to pawn off parts of my plate to people, like please eat this. I don't want to send a full plate back. And no one would take the cookie either. The UFO cookie. They wouldn't. No one would
Come
take it.
on. I was at, how many people, okay, Mary Lee gave me her cookie and her ice cream. And I think, I want to say your mom gave me one of her cookies as well. It's like, come on, if you want to get rid of your cookie, just, give it to Jim. Jim will take
You
it.
already had a couple. I'm not going to name numbers, but you said no.
Awful here.
You said no. Because I know I offered it to you. Travis at first was like, yeah, man, yeah. And it was like, I already ate 3. It's like,
That
okay.
is such a Travis response to that too. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Oh
he had
gosh.
eaten a couple of the cookies because not all the guys were eating them, and they just put it on his plate. Because while he's talking, he's not paying attention. They're messing with each other on stage. That
Oh, I
is one of
know.
the fun
I
parts
know.
about this event is they're messing with each other. So they'll like put beers in front of you. They'll put food in front of you. They'll mess with stuff. The dumbest thing is like they'll move the fork from the left side of your plate to the right side. They really do little tiny things to mess with each other because it's not funny to, everyone around. It's funny to themselves. So these events, that's where it's at, is to see the little things that they don't even expect you to see that they're doing.
Yep. 100%. And John, what's your assessment of the behind the scenes dinner?
Everything you just said. It's fun seeing them rib each other and give each other a hard time about stuff, and you really get to see them, let their hair down, as they say. You get a little picture of their personalities when they're off camera. It's pretty fun, and you always get a few interesting tidbits about the show, about different things that have gone on that you wouldn't hear otherwise. So it's pretty cool. I really like it, and the food's always good, and yeah, you get to hang out at a table with other insiders. I mean, or I mean, attendees, but probably other insiders too.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a blast.
Yep. 100%. And of course, there's also individual lunches and dinners with people like Caleb Bench, Travis Taylor, Dragon, Thomas Winterton, uh, pretty much all the big name folks. Jay Stratton, we
I
have
get
to
my
say,
own, right? My dad just happens to be there.
right? And of course, those also vary in price. But I have this habit, if you will. Okay, not habit. My routine every PhenomeCon is I always make sure to attend the lunch with Caleb Bench. And last year was the best one yet because they took us to Swain Brothers Steakhouse for lunch, and I got to have myself a nice
Wow.
big ribeye steak, and Jim was in absolute heaven for that. So, and that was great because Mike Owen, Jeff Freeman's podcasting partner, was there at that lunch with Caleb with his wife as well, which was kind of cool to get to hang out with Mike Owen and talk with him a little bit at that event. So again, folks, all these add-on activities, and again, there's a full list of them if you go to phenomecon.net, and they all vary in price, but we just kind of listed out a couple of our personal favorites. Was there any other ones that either of you wanted to mention that I didn't make a mention of that you want to give a quick shout out to?
There's uh there's a band playing. Maybe we should mention that.
But that's not an add-on activity.
Well, that's true. Add-ons. Yeah, that one's free.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to
You,
remember.
you think people would actually pay to see that band? Come on.
God, no. What the hell? Are they
Right?
crazy?
Exactly.
There are some others that I just have never been to that have always looked kind of interesting to me. But
Yeah, I've
I'm
had
looking
my
through the
name put
page
on
right
a
now, and it's
couple of
like
them.
sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out. Like
Yeah.
everything's sold out.
See, Bridget has done an amazing act of kindness, and she's just put my name on events, and then I didn't even make it to the event, so I feel terrible. Like uh, oh, the Believers, the Voice of the Believers
Johnny,
event.
you got
I
to
was
attend
supposed
that
to
with us this
go.
year.
I
Yeah.
know, but I had a dinner that I was expected to be at.
Yes,
So,
indeed.
like I said, I don't make my schedule at these things. I just do as I'm told. I show up. I'm there at
Yep.
their mercy generally, and I
Yep.
wouldn't have it any other way.
I'm trying to
100%.
remember if I signed up for the Voice of Believers. I think because you were convincing me to, and I was thinking maybe I will do it, but I can't remember if I ever did. That
Do
same
it,
night,
John.
how much fun would this be though? The same night at the same time, a gallery reading with Cindy Kazaa. That would be kind of fun. I've never been to anything like that.
Interesting.
Let's see what else. Because I'm just
I'm
mentioning it
sorry.
because that
The
one,
food ultimately wins out with Jim. Sorry.
the food at Voices of Believers is pretty fantastic.
To get Jim to do other add-ons, we're just gonna sneak a syringe of Ozempic and just hit him. That way he doesn't want to eat.
No,
Oh
we'll
my
bring a
gosh.
blow dart. I'll bring one of my syringes. You know,
My
like,
wife is gonna high five you for that, Johnny.
Look, I know sources. There's all sorts of ways to get this stuff. We're just gonna get a blowgun and dart you.
Yep.
Well, yes, indeed, folks. So the last thing we'll talk about, and we'll wrap up here, and we'll just cover this real quickly, is I promised we're going to go back to Antica Forma, John. So,
Oh man, I
so
think multiple times probably.
there are a couple of restaurants in the Vernal area that I absolutely cannot wait to go back to. Now, the first one, which we got to give props to, is of course Vernal Brewing Company. You know, good old VBC. Uh, that's where we host the annual Skinwalker Ranch Insider Family Reunion on the evening before PhenomeCon. We always host it there, and they are the absolute best hosts for an event like that. We have such a great working relationship with Vernal Brewing Company. So massive tip of the hat to Jamie and her amazing staff at Vernal Brewing Company. They have amazing standard American fare, burgers, sandwiches, salads, great appetizers, some really good craft beers. I'm told I'm not a drinker these days, but
Yep.
they have some great stuff that they offer there. Cannot recommend that highly enough. We usually end up going to Vernal Brewing Company at least a couple of times while we're in town.
So I was there for a week. I was there for a little over a week. I went there, I think I counted 8 times.
Wow.
I think I was there at least 5 times.
I think I was too, because there was the Insider Family Reunion, and then we ended up going there with Travis when Travis got into town. It was me, Travis, Jay, and you, and Dragon, I think.
Brian,
and then when the Hanks brothers came into town, my wife and sons arrived right around the time that Caleb and Micah and Charlotte did, and so all of us, you know, we decided to meet up at Vernal Brewing Company and had a great lunch together. And there was at least one other time that I know that I remembered going to Vernal Brewing Company, but yeah, that's kind of like you know, one of our hangouts there.
is.
It's just such a great place, and then of
And they do a
course
great, like you said, they do a great job. They're fantastic.
they
Go see
really
'em.
do.
Yep.
The best service. Just love the staff at VBC, and of course you've heard us mention it a number of times. If you happen to be a fan of Italian food, particularly authentic Italian food, there is no finer restaurant in the state of Utah for Italian cuisine than Antica Forma, located in lovely downtown Vernal, Utah. And I went there at least 2 or 3 times last year, and it didn't feel like enough.
I
You
have
only went once,
only
Johnny?
been once with you guys. That was it. That was the only time I ever went because I hadn't
Oh,
heard about it. And it was the last day. So I couldn't go
okay.
That's
back.
right.
Okay, one of these times when we find ourselves with some spare time, if we do, we have to break away and get your dad out of there, and we have to go back to Antica Forma. And gosh, I'm you know what I dream of from that place is their bruschetta. Their bruschetta is hands down the best I've ever had. And trust it, folks, coming from a New Yorker, it's the real deal. Their pizzas are amazing. Their chicken parm is one of the best chicken parms I've ever had. They make everything, including the pasta, fresh in-house. They grow their own tomatoes for their sauces. I mean, it's really the real deal. And that's one of the things I'm looking forward to the most going back to Vernal is to go to Antica Forma. So let's make a pact right now, the three of us. We got to go
Oh,
at
we
least
will.
once together, at
Yep.
least once.
Yes.
So gotta
That is the
gotta do
plan.
that.
And
Right
I'm
on.
still not confirmed if I'm going to be there. I hate to say I'm not yet confirmed, but I did reserve a hotel. So
Good, good, good. Good,
I'm
good.
planning to be there.
You
And then
better be.
I
the
need
other
to be.
restaurant the other restaurant I would give a shout out to is what I mentioned a moment ago, Swain Brothers. They do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Again, it's kind of like Vernal Brewing Company. It's a American fare. Their specialty is steaks. Really, some of the best steaks I've had in the state of Utah. Just Vernal is just such a great town. You wouldn't think that it would have such a high quality and great selection of restaurants. And of course, John, we've got to give a shout out to the food trucks at PhenomeCon.
Oh yeah.
Specifically the taco truck and the corn dog truck. Oh my gosh. That corn dog was almost as big as
They're
yeah.
fantastic.
They're
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 big.
they're
So
See,
huge. And
I went out to get one because it sounded so good. They had left already at that point. I was so
oh
upset.
no.
I've never
Oh
had one
man.
of the famous food truck corn dogs out there, and I want one. There
you
are
wanna know what's funny?
amazing restaurants out
This
there.
this just occurred to me. So technically, I met Johnny, your dad, and your mom earlier that day, but when we didn't really talk. When we actually spoke was when we were in line for the corn dog truck. They walked up right behind me, and that's kind of how that friendship kind of started, was just hanging out in the food line. Then last year, I had just met Chris Roberts in the building, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go get some lunch. He goes, yeah, I'm thinking of doing that too. I'm like, well, let's go grab a corn dog. He's like, all right, sounds good. So Chris Roberts and I
Right?
went out and got a corn dog.
Oh, yes. So that's what we got to do. We got to get Chris Roberts, we got to get Ben, and we have to go hit the corn dog truck and the taco truck. And of course, Bartell, Chris Bartell, if you're watching this, we got to go out for tacos again, buddy, cuz yeah, folks, you haven't lived until you've had tacos with Jimm. That's just the reality. So you got to, come up to me and say, "Hey, Jimm, let's go get some tacos." I'll be like, "Well, okay."
I look, folks, I still think about the time that I went to Betos with him and got some tacos. That place was phenomenal.
Yep.
Absolutely great.
Yep. I'm a everybody knows that I'm a huge taco fan, and there's no joke about it, folks. I love tacos, and yeah, I was fortunate enough to be able to take Johnny to my favorite Mexican place here in my hometown here in Utah. And John, you got to come out, man. You got to come see my band play in August, man.
How
We'll
cool would that be?
put you on stage. I'll take you to Betos. We'll do everything, man. All
I'd
that
love
stuff.
it.
So again, folks, just to kind of wrap everything up here, PhenomeCon 2026 taking place in Vernal, Utah, between September 9th to September 12th. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to the that band that is playing at the closing reception. Of course, I'm talking about Hitchhiker, the
Ooh.
band, a band which Mr. Nyberger and I are fortunate enough to be members of, proud members of, and we'll be playing again this year. Looking forward to seeing everybody out there, and that's always a good time. But again,
Under their new
passes,
name, Cowboy Bob and the Soul Ropers.
Cowboy Bob and the Soul Ropers. Okay, well,
Captain Jack and
Oh,
the Shrimp Shack Shooters.
the Dino Beaver
Captain,
must have got to
yes,
you.
that's one of my favorite movies, John. I just hope you
Is
know
that
that.
not an awesome movie?
That thing you do. Anybody, okay, folks, if you've ever been in a band, particularly a rock band, there is one movie that you absolutely have to see, and it's not Spinal Tap, it's That Thing You Do. You have to see the Tom Hanks movie, That Thing You Do. It is so funny, but it's also really, really true to life.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to
Yep.
rock music, you can't also beat The Rocker.
True.
That is
True.
one of my dad and I's favorite
Which
movies.
one is that? Is
So
that's not the? Oh, I'm thinking of the one with
it's the one where
Mark
the guy that
Wahlberg.
plays Dwight, Rainn Wilson, is the
Okay, I haven't
rock
seen that one.
star that he gets kicked out of the band. That band goes on to be world famous and turns into complete sellouts and terrible. But he's still going. But that movie has some of the funniest moments in it. It's a very good movie.
Nice. I'll definitely, I'm not sure. I know of it, but I don't think I've seen it, so I'll put that in my queue for sure. Excellent
It is
recommendation
Stratton
there.
family approved.
Cool. Right on. So, folks, thanks for tuning in today. And just real quickly, we'll go around go around the horn here, go around the room, and final thoughts, closing thoughts, and remarks. Mr. Stratton, we'll start with you.
Oh, I'm excited. I hope I'm out there this year because I'm looking forward not to only seeing you guys, but all of these great people that hopefully are listening to us, and of course the even larger number of people that aren't listening to us that are going to be out there. And you see me, come say hi to me. Want to go to the gym with me? I tend to go to the gym most mornings that I'm out there, unless I have a scheduled breakfast.
Heck
So
yeah, I might join you, sir. Yeah,
we got to do something
yeah,
because they have a really nice
absolutely.
gym out in that town. So I'm looking
I'm
forward
usually
to it.
doing coffee curls in the morning.
Coffee girls.
Coffee
Ugh.
and croissant, right?
No,
No, just the coffee.
I just discovered I can do pull-ups, so I guess I'm gonna be doing pull-ups in the morning.
Nice. Hey, that's a good thing to be able to do.
Cool.
That's news to me. I didn't
Just,
know I could
just,
do it.
just promise me that we're not going to be working out with your dad or Caleb or Travis because I don't want to look bad.
Okay, folks. If
Yeah,
you
that's
saw me at
ridiculous.
PhenomeCon, I'm sorry I have to derail us again for this. If y'all
That's
saw
okay.
me day 2 of PhenomeCon, I couldn't walk because my dad and I went to the gym and we did legs. This man put 400 something pounds on this machine. It was a hack squat, I think. And I'm struggling to barely move it. And as I'm struggling and about to die, he goes, if you weren't with me, I wouldn't do such lightweight.
He's just messing with you. He's got to be. I mean,
No.
I can't picture your dad.
Oh my God.
That's wow. That
Like
blows my
I
mind.
I work out very hard. I work out very hard. I don't do super high weight, but I work out very hard and I work out a lot. That was the single hardest workout I had probably had in the last year and a half or so. Like it was something else. That leg day is spiritual. As in I saw God.
Have fun storming the castle.
Love that movie too.
Yes. Miracle Max. I'm a big fan of Miracle Max. All right, Mr. Nyberger, closing thoughts and remarks from you.
Just that I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. I mean, there's some people we missed a lot last year that I think are going to make it this year. I'm really looking forward to that. So
Yep.
I
Jeff and
can't wait.
Annie.
Yep.
Yep.
Like you said earlier, it really is. This sounds stupid. We're not exaggerating. It feels like a family reunion. It truly,
100%.
well, and because we basically are related to these guys. Like Johnny's our nephew now, and Jay and Michelle are brother and sister. I mean, give me a break. And just seeing Micah and Caleb and Charlotte, and I mean everybody.
So if Micah and
Marilee,
Caleb
and
are
just
my
on and on.
brothers, are they also your nephews?
See, that gets a little confusing.
That's where it gets confusing.
We probably don't want to explore that in too much detail.
I know.
The new adoptive family tree.
We have people in Alabama for a reason.
We're not from southern Utah, so it's okay.
Yeah. I think in our circles there's people that I'm brothers and maybe cousins with at the same time. It's a little odd. So let's just not go there.
Yeah.
Brother, cousin.
But no, I'm looking
Brunkle.
forward to seeing everybody. I can't wait. What'd you say?
Brother, uncle, Brunkle.
Yes, Brunkle.
Yep. My cousins, the oldest is 29, I think. Right, 28. Their birthday's coming right around the corner, so we'll just say 29. The youngest child in that household is 3, and so he is considered the brother uncle. That's what they call him, because it's a 26-year age gap.
Wow,
good heavens,
that's impressive.
There's 17 years age difference between me and my oldest brother, so I can relate to that somewhat. Yep.
Man, we have completely derailed this topic.
Well,
this is what the people want. This is what they want.
This is why people tune in.
Exactly. I
Hi,
think
Mom.
what we need to start the Hi, Michelle.
Hi, sis.
we need to
She's the
start
only one
coming
still
up
listening.
We need to come up with secret code names for people at PhenomeCon, secret nicknames. And I know we've already got a
Oh,
couple. We have
I
a
was going to
couple
say
for
we
some
have a few
people,
already.
but we're going to keep this list closely guarded. This will be our nuclear football for PhenomeCon,
Uh,
and nobody's safe. We're gonna give code names and nicknames to people from the ranch and on down all the way, except for maybe your dad, Johnny, because I'd be afraid of giving your dad one. but aside from that, though, folks, in all seriousness, thank you so much for tuning in and watching our PhenomeCon 2026 preview episode. And again, in a couple of months, probably along about August or thereabouts, we're going to do our annual PhenomeCon primer, where we will have a closer look and we'll be able to talk about the actual schedule. And hopefully, we'll have some new names that are going to be added to the roster of speakers and presenters at PhenomeCon. And also want to give a shout out to the many vendors that are going to be at PhenomeCon that sell arts and crafts. There's a great artist by the name of Claudio Bergman, who does some amazing paintings, and guy's got amazing taste in music. He's like the world's biggest Kiss fan, so of course I just have big respect for him. And there's all kinds of just cool stuff that people have to peruse and to purchase at PhenomeCon. And of course, hopefully, knock on wood, we may have some hitchhiker merchandise again this year if everything goes well. But more than anything, just to echo what both of you have said, I'm
I will
looking
interrupt
forward.
for a split second to remind people there is
Sure.
a store online where you can buy your hitchhiker merch. That way you are prepared for the show before you ever even get there. Make sure you go check it out. I think we'll go find the link and put it in the description. That way people can find it.
Yeah.
Get your
Give me the link
hitchhiker
and I'll
merch
put it in there.
early. We'll get the link.
Yes. Yes. Don't be left without not being able to get a shirt because they sold out of your
Yeah.
size. You can
Last
order
year
it
we sold
early.
out of a lot of the shirts within the first 2 days of the most popular color and size. So if you want a shirt, you might want to just order it. If you know that you're a smaller size, because we didn't order as many smalls the last couple times. So if you're a smaller size, or especially if you want purple, order it online now.
Are they going to have
Oh, yeah.
the purple banana hammock this time?
What?
That the hitchhiker banana hammock was just a special one-time thing. I can't tell you who wore it. They may or may not have done some peyote and danced on the ranch.
Yes,
Wasn't
indeed.
any of us.
Hey, that time it was me that derailed it, so it's I get a free pass. But I'm looking forward to seeing all of you guys there. Looking so forward to seeing all of our insider friends like Marilee and Annie and Miriam and all of our good friends there. Looking forward to seeing Jay and Michelle,
There's
all of
too
our
many to
friends at the
name.
ranch.
Yeah,
There's
too
so
many.
many
Yeah,
to name that we're just
there
excited to
truly
see.
is. Roy and Sue Wall, looking forward to seeing them. They're a great couple
Yep.
that I got to know. Just think the world of Roy and Sue. And yeah, just for us, again, my PhenomeCon experience begins on the Tuesday, the night before PhenomeCon, with the hosting the Skinwalker Ranch Insider Family Reunion. And I always look forward to that because it's the perfect way to kick off the PhenomeCon experience with a nice, easygoing, relaxing evening, just getting to hang out and talk with fellow insiders, and having that one beautiful couple hours of relaxation before the madness of the PhenomeCon experience truly begins. And Johnny, I'm going to keep hoping and praying that you are able to make it and join us out there this year, and looking forward to just
You
adding
know I'll
another
move heaven and
notch.
earth if possible.
I know,
The-
I know you will.
I can never promise anything because I refuse to give false promises, but I should be there.
Right on. Well, we're going to keep our fingers crossed and everything else as well. So again, folks, if you liked what you saw here, make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And again, that address for PhenomeCon is www.phenomecon.net. There are still all of the pass options are still available, whether you want to do a daily pass or just a Friday and Saturday or just a Saturday, or do what I highly recommend, which is the 4-day pass. It is an experience that you will treasure for many years to come. It is money and time well spent. It is what my calendar year revolves around. And I'm just so grateful to Bridget and her staff and Thomas Winterton, who kind of came up and hatched the whole idea for PhenomeCon. It has truly brought so many wonderful people into my life, beginning with these two amazing gentlemen and their families as well. And they have become extensions of my own family. And I mean that most sincerely. And I can't give any higher endorsement or gratitude than to say that. And I mean that with every fiber of my being. It's truly a wonderful thing to be able to experience. So with that, folks, thanks again for tuning in, and we will see you next time right here on the Soul of the Unexplained. See ya.